Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking something incredibly specific, but man, is it deeply relatable for the African diaspora returning home to Nigeria. You've been living abroad, you're totally used to systems where the rules are just written in black and white, and you are finally heading back. You're excited, but there's this one specific culture shock people almost always forget to prep for until it is literally right in front of them. So we're going to completely demystify navigating Nigerian police stops, and we're going to turn a moment of potential anxiety into an exercise in pure, simple strategy.
Okay, picture this. You're a stylish black traveler, finally touching down back home. You're chilling in an Uber, a Bolt, or maybe your friend's car. The music's playing, you're taking in the sights out the window, and then, suddenly, a hand goes up. Oga Park. Yep, it's a police checkpoint. And in that exact fraction of a second, your confidence just kind of drops. Your mind starts racing, right? You're suddenly asking yourself, wait, what do I say? How does this actually work again? Listen, that sudden spike of anxiety is incredibly common when you transition from a highly structured system abroad back to the real-world dynamics at home.
Okay, let's dive into this. We have a super clear roadmap to get you through it. We'll be hitting 1. The sudden checkpoint. 2. The reality of profiling. 3. Navigating the interaction. 4. Those unspoken pressures. 5. The emotional layer. And finally, 6. Building your strategic toolkit.
Right. Section 1. The sudden checkpoint. Understanding the environment.
So checkpoints are absolutely everywhere in Nigeria. On paper, sure, they're there for security monitoring and traffic enforcement. But abroad, you're used to systems that essentially act like a calculator, right? You input a rule, you get a highly predictable result. Here, the environment operates on informal realities. Law enforcement isn't just about the strict written law. It's a deeply dynamic interaction that relies heavily on the officer's mood in that moment, how you present yourself, and the specific context of the day. Honestly, it's heavily influenced by perception.
Moving right along to Section 2, the reality of profiling and exactly how you stand out.
And what's really interesting to break down here is that we have to be brutally honest. If you're visiting from abroad, even as a black traveler returning to your home country, you stand out. An officer isn't just checking your documents, they're scanning you. The second you open your mouth, your accent completely gives you away. They notice the cut of your clothing, that brand new smartphone in your hand, the type of car you're riding in, and honestly, even your body language. To an observer, all these visual and auditory triggers just instantly scream diaspora.
And honestly, here is a massive truth bomb. Perception shapes the entire interaction before a single word is even spoken. All those visual cues we just talked about, they signal something specific to the officer. Sometimes they signal that you are a responsible visitor, but other times, unfortunately, they signal that you're an opportunity. Recognizing exactly how you are being perceived is literally your first line of defense.
Okay, Section 3. Navigating the interaction through the de-escalation flow.
Let's break this down into really simple terms. Once that car is stopped, you are the one who controls the temperature of the interaction. Step 1. Stay totally composed. Avoid panicking or word-vomiting explanations. Step 2. Offer a really simple, polite, "Good afternoon, officer," that instantly sets a respectful baseline. And finally, always have your complete documentation ready to go. Valid ID, vehicle papers, the whole shebang. Because complete documentation removes any unnecessary friction and immediately shuts down the need for negotiation.
Here's another absolute truth bomb for you. Tension escalates things so much faster than facts do. Yes, for sure, you have basic rights, you can totally ask the reason for a stop, but aggressively acting like a roadside lawyer, that is a dangerous trap. In this specific environment, wisdom is knowing how to assert your rights calmly, not just loudly announcing that you have them.
Which brings us to a highly sensitive trap: the sudden demand to open your phone. Now, legally speaking, random phone searches are highly questionable, but practically, on the side of a dusty road, the situation varies wildly. If this happens to you, your response just needs to be calm and firm. Do not argue aggressively. Do not be confrontational. Your goal here is absolutely not to win a constitutional debate about privacy rights over your iPhone. Your goal is just to exit the situation safely and smoothly.
Moving into Section 4, the unspoken pressures, reading the situation. And then comes the phrase you've probably been dreading. Anything for the boys. Or maybe, you know how it is. Let that just sink in for a second. It's incredibly frustrating. You suddenly find yourself caught right in the middle, between wanting to boldly stand your ground on principle and just wanting to get to your auntie's house. Blind compliance creates a bad cycle, sure, but aggressive anger, that just completely wastes your day.
So this brilliantly illustrates a quiet, real-time decision you have to make.
Do you spend an hour resolving this properly, or do you adapt, prioritize your time, and just move on? It's really not a simple binary of right or wrong. It's a real-world calculation where you're constantly balancing your time, your safety, your principles, and obviously the urgency of your trip.
But while you're making that decision, please avoid this incredibly common mistake, over-explaining. Whatever you do, do not volunteer information like, "Oh, I just came from the UK," or "I live in Canada." It might feel like harmless, friendly chatter to you, but volunteering your abroad status instantly changes how people engage with you. You are literally giving away your leverage. You have to control your own narrative.
All right, Section 5. The emotional layer, dealing with the disorientation at home.
Let's be real. Coming back to a mix of formal rules and informal realities is an emotional shock. It feels profoundly disorienting and, frankly, disappointing sometimes. To manage it, you need a major mindset shift. Ego-driven actions tell you to argue, to try and win the moment, and escalate over principles. But strategy-driven actions, they tell you to prioritize safety and just keep moving forward. Not every single moment on the road requires you to prove a point. Remember, your only true objective is a safe exit.
Let's see how this all builds into Section 6, your strategic toolkit for moving smarter.
Okay, here are your absolute rules for the road. First, prepare all your documentation before you even start the car so there are zero gaps. Manage your presentation. Staying low-key helps avoid unnecessary attention. Control your emotions by staying calm and respectful. Be deeply aware of the situation, observing rather than just immediately reacting. Always prioritize your safety over your ego. Learn from each interaction, and honestly, stay connected to the community. Remember, being an African traveler from the diaspora is actually a superpower. You understand how multiple systems work, and with that understanding comes a massive strategic advantage.
So what does this all mean? Navigating these stops isn't about fear. It's about mastery. When you reduce the friction, you protect your peace. Now that you have this breakdown, you are absolutely ready to move smarter. But hey, this is just the beginning of the conversation. If this explainer resonated with you, or if you want to master even more unspoken rules of navigating back home, I really want you to reach out directly. Let's build a community of shared knowledge. Drop a comment, send a message, and let's connect. Stay safe out there and travel smart.